I can't play Green Tinted 60s mine. Hey, this is Eric Martin from the band Mr. Big. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. And you are watching me on Rome by Wild.
Welcome to Rome, of course. And
this is Rome. It's just like I pictured it. This looks like one of the ruins, kind of. No,
have you got the chance to have a city tour?
I did. I mean, I've done a lot of tours, like reality tours, you know, around Rome over the years, and I've been to Rome a bunch of times. Yeah. No, I mean, what do you mean? It's like the Colosseum and the ruins and all that stuff. Yeah, I've seen all that stuff, and the Senate, and today actually I had a really pretty walk. I'm staying in this really nice part of Rome, a villa kind of vibe, and right next to this castle. It's gorgeous. I took a lot of pictures of clouds and castles today.
You did like to say you've traveled a lot this year and you had a very tight schedule.
I do. I have a major schedule. It's because of my slave-driving promoter, Stefano Luciano. Who's right over there. I don't even put him on camera. You can just hear him. It's like if the camera will smash him.
Also know a very Copperfield in the business.
Yeah, right. The David Copperfield of rock. Anyway, I told him that I wanted to tour a lot, and he goes, "Your wish is my command." You know. So.
And what makes you choose to play on acoustic or on full equipment on stage?
Well, I write songs on acoustic guitar. That's easier for me to play acoustic guitar. And I just thought it would be, I did it in November in Europe, just to maybe, 3 or 4 weeks of touring. And I had a great time, so I wanted to do it again, I just wanted to enjoy myself. But I also like playing, like some of the musicians here, I played with like an electrical band. They were my solo band for a while. 2 handsome Italian guys back here. And we're gonna play, we're gonna play an acoustic. Did you bring electric guitar today? Cool. So it's gonna be like the opposite of Mr. Big. See, because when we did a live at the living room in Japan, we all play acoustic except Billy. So you're carrying on the tradition. One guy has to play electric, right? But I like taking a breather with acoustic guitar. And, I mean, my main job is Mr. Big. I love it. I'm so happy the band's back together. But this is just a fun thing to do.
Are you going to warm up your voice before the show?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
I go like, okay. Figaro! How's that? Or, volare, whoa. Ready? Good. Cantare, whoa, oh, oh, oh. Little blue is little blue. E pintori blu. That's about it, pretty much.
I have to ask you this question because I think that yours and Steve Perry's are the best voices in the rock scene.
I'm gonna sit up now.
Yeah.
I'll stick my stomach in you a little bit more, all right?
Is it true you were asked to sing for Journey?
Yes and no. Neil Schon called me up a long time ago. This is when Steve Perry wasn't going to go on the road anymore. I guess he was a little ill. And he said, hey, that guy that's singing with you, because there was this band called Tall Stories, and they were opening to Mr. Big, and he goes, hey, that guy that's singing, Steve O'Gerry, man, that guy's an amazing singer. Can you give me his number? And I thought he was calling me up to ask me to be in Journey, because we were managed by the same management for 20 years. And I was like, yeah, let me go get it. 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, like that kind of thing. So, no, I wasn't really asked to be in Journey. I thought I was going to be asked because we were so close. And Neil Schon, him and I wrote a bunch of songs back in the day. And I got a record deal because of Neil. It was on Capitol Records. And and I did movie soundtracks with Neil. It was great, and I really thought that he was calling me to join Journey, but no, he just wanted to like somebody else's number.
You even asked to join Van Halen and other gigs. Which
What, I'm sorry?
Van Halen?
Yeah, Van Halen. Look, that's
Yeah.
another thing. Yeah, I'm not even. One time I opened my big mouth too much. There, years and years and years ago, I got a call from Eddie Van Halen saying that he loved my voice and he absolutely hated my solo records. And I'm like, you're right, they suck. You're a god. You know. But anyway, long story short, he asked me to come down and meet him, and I basically chickened out. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Those were mighty big clown shoes to fill, you know? I felt like I had pretty good stage presence. I thought I was a really good singer, but I wasn't larger than life like David Lee Roth. And even though they got my friend Gary Sharon to sing for him, even Gary, you know, Gary had balls. I mean, he definitely did it. But Sammy Hagar, you know, was the guy. And then when Sammy left, nobody asked me to do it again. You know? Basically, it was just, I was honored to be asked to meet with him and come down, but I totally got scared.
And how did you choose to join Mr. Big? Why you said yes to some bands and no to?
Yeah. Well, actually, there was another band. There was a bigger band at the time, right before Mr. Big, Toto. And Steve Lukather asked me to join Toto, and I said, I do. Yes, I will. And so I was in Toto for about 10 days, singing Hold the Line, Georgie Porgy, you know, all the Fahrenheit. That was the Fahrenheit album. And I was in the band, but we had a dinner, and Jeff Porcaro, he was there for a minute, and then he went outside, and then I never saw him again. And then the rest of the band go, yeah, Jeff just thinks you're too young. Too young. I was like, I'm sure I was in my 30s, but he goes, yeah, you're too young, and you know, he just didn't think I could cut it. And then about a year and a half later, me and Billy Sheehan, Billy gave me a call, and we started Mr. Big. We didn't have a guitar. Billy was hanging around Steve Stevens at the time, from Billy Idol. And I thought, okay, so is he going to be in band? And he goes, well, I don't know. I mean, I got this kid that I'm like looking into, this guy Paul Gilbert, and I'm like, I think I've seen that guy in magazines, you know. He'd always do silly little guitar player magazine photo shoots, you know, with his spangled Razor X clothes and shit. And but I wasn't from that world, you know. I was a rock and soul singer. I wasn't from, and I could sing hard rock, but that wasn't my world, you know. So when Paul got in the band and we auditioned a drummer, and he wasn't good, and then Pat Torpey came in. He was the second one. He was like, oh, dude, you're brilliant. And so we all got together around this rehearsal studio. I was playing piano at the time, too, because I wrote Big Love, which no affiliation with the reason why we called the band Mr. Big. It just happened. So Big Love and Rock and Roll Over on piano. And then me and Paul were writing Anything for You. And Pat, you know, like everybody's doing it. And we jammed on a bunch of Zeppelin songs and all that stuff. And I showed him my songs, and Billy had a song called Whole World Is Gonna Know, which didn't end up on the Lean Into It album. It was on another album. But we jammed on those 3 songs for a while. And then I think we practiced for a couple weeks. And then we wrote our first record in like 8 days. Like 8 days, just writing a record. And here it is. Those were the good times when everybody got along great, you know.
You've got a very wide discography, even with Mr. Big and on solo.
Oh yeah! Don't forget Power Rangers, baby.
Is there any project you wish you hadn't done, and which is the one you're most proud of?
Well, I'll answer the second part first, okay? To Be With You, I'm proud of, because it's like the little engine that could. You know, it started off with a little nursery rhyme type of song that I wrote when I was 16 years old. To basically, I sat out in front of my house and I leaned against this big tree, just started singing, you know, singing To Be With You, or writing, you know, singing the chorus, just to impress my sister's girlfriends, you know, just to get a kiss, maybe a little bit more, but you know, a kiss I would have settled for. And then, you know, years later, the song went through all kinds of different changes. I mean, when I wrote it, it was more like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. And then I got together with a writer from my publishing company, and it's by the name of this guy, David Graham. And I didn't know him, and you know, when you write songs with somebody for the first time, you split 50-50. It's just the way it is, you know. And I was nervous meeting him, and all I had in my little bag of tricks was a few songs, and I go, oh, I have this little song, To Be With You. And he goes, wow, that sounds like the Beatles. Maybe we ought to change your... Maybe we ought to change it and make it like Give Peace a Chance by John Lennon, you know, Beatles. It'd be like, you know, all we are saying is give peace a... I'm the one who was... Just like that, right? So it was like... And I went, yeah, okay. And then he came up with like a lyric in the second verse, your game of love was all rained out, which I thought was really brilliant. And so he came up with this kind of arrangement and then a couple lyrics, and we split it 50-50. I mean, who knew, you know? It's okay. What he did, I thought, made the song. It made it pop. You know, it gave life to it. It definitely was the spark that you know, that made the song great. Yeah, and the bad ones. Well, I don't want to burn any bridges, but I did this Japanese thing, Mr. Vocalist, and I loved me singing the girl songs. Like they were songs made popular by women, and I loved that. It was like a total different side of me, like more prettier ballads and stuff, and I loved it. And then they did something like Mr. Rock Vocalist, which I hated the name. I thought it was so pretentious, you know, Mr. Rock Vocalist, and very generic too. Mr. Rock Vocalist, like I'm the guy. It's not that I didn't like the name of it, but I didn't mind the music. It was hard to do though. The music turned out okay. It's more like 80s punky pop rock, you know, with John Five and Marty Friedman and shit. Richie Kotzen was on it and everything, but it was like an 80s pop rock record. I didn't mind it. I just did not like the name. I just hated it. I mean, I didn't care for Mr. Vocalist either, but Mr. Rock Vocalist, I didn't dig it. I know it's probably this is, you know, sorry, because I love the Japanese, you know, and it wasn't my baby, it was their baby. They asked me to do it, like, that I was honored that I was the English representative of their hit songs, you know. So, there you have it. I don't even think Mr. Rock Vocalist did very well, but maybe because of the name, I don't know.
What was it like to sing ballads sung by women?
I'm sorry, say that again?
What was it like to sing ballads sung by women?
I loved it because I could have my own interpretation, and also it was in English. Took all these Japanese songs and transformed them into English lyrics. And you know, when I got the synopsis for the songs, oh my God, it was like heartbreak and a lot of like sad. The guy leaves the girl holds a candle to him forever. He gets married, has kids, divorces that woman, keeps going, and the first one's still holding the candle, hoping that it'll come back, type of songs. But Japanese love those type of songs, really sad. And I'm no stranger to a sad love song, you know. God, I wrote an album called Somewhere in the Middle. The whole record's about my wife, you know. Number one. Yikes. Shh, Eric, quiet. So, but I had a great time. Because I could be my own man, you know. And I never heard of the songs before that they did. I heard a couple of them on the radio when Mr. Big was doing radio in Japan. But for the most part, I didn't hear it, so it was all fresh and new.
And you even sung songs, American songs, like "Can't Take My Eyes Off of You,"
Yeah.
"Time After Time."
Yeah, that was what that was the Japanese picked the songs for me to sing, right? And I mean, okay, it's not that I hated it doing it, but "I'll Always Love You" was, I didn't want to do that one, but somebody wanted to hear me do it, so I did it, you know. I would have sang the telephone book if the Japanese fans wanted it, you know.
Since before you mentioned some song you wrote when you were very young.
Yeah.
There's one song that I liked this much, and it's Letting It Out.
Letting It Out, yeah.
And there's a video on YouTube.
Yeah.
You are so young. How old were you?
I was 25, probably 24, 25, something like that, I think. Yeah, it was live in Hawaii. And, oh, my face was just so baby's butt smooth, and I'm sweating, and it's perfect. It looked like an actor, you know, because I'm singing and letting it out, and the sweat is just dripping perfectly. And that was great. That was a really great performance. Opening the Journey at the Blaisdell Arena in Hawaii.
You are one of the few rock singers who still has voice, because there are some rock singers that after 20 years of singing lost their
I can
voice.
tell you, no. There's songs that I can't sing anymore. I've tried. I mean, I can record them, but I don't know if I can sing them live. I get Lucky This Time is a pretty high. I don't even want to do it right now and choke on camera. But that Open Your Heart to Mine, that part is crazy, man. Even Pat Torpey, who can sing higher than me, we can't do it. I mean, you definitely have to put your balls in a vice on that one, and even then, you certainly couldn't do it. Yeah, but like, I mean, I don't have that scream anymore. You know, that really like, yeah, that really fucking freaky, hot, tall, you know. I did it so much in the 80s and 90s, so much, and like hundreds and hundreds of gigs that I think I just burned myself out. You know, I mean, I could still sing in a higher register and all that, but that scream is gone. Unfortunately, I miss it. I wish I had it. It would sure help me in the Avantasia tour. Because, you know, it's so funny about heavy metal, you know. Hard rock, not so much anymore. But heavy metal, if you like get a blood-curdling, blood-spitting scream, their crowd's like, ah, or they're more like, that kind of, ah. It's crazy.
And is there any new project you're working on right now?
My new project right now is learning the lyrics to all these Avantasia songs that I'm doing. We're gonna have like a bunch of singers, you know, but the ones that sang on the album that won't be able to come, like the Klaus Meine and Joe Lynn Turner, I'm taking their parts. So.
How have the themes of your songs changed over the years?
Well, I don't know. I mean, ever since I got remarried and my children, I'm not like the broken-hearted, sad clown that I used to be. So not a lot of sad love songs, I don't think. All the Way Up is sad, but that's a different kind of sad. As a Mr. Big song, that's more of like a death. It was somebody died, somebody close. Anyway, but yeah, I guess not too many broken-hearted love songs, which sucks because I love those songs. I love broken-hearted love songs. You know.
Is there any specific girl you think of while writing those songs?
First of all, I'm sure there is, but I can't say it because, you know, my wife would kill me. That's what happens, you know. Yeah, there's all kinds of experiences that I've had that even when I'm on this tour and I'm singing like Promise to the Moon or Just Take My Heart or God, what else? so many, Going Where the Wind Blows, something like that. It'll bring me back. You know, it's not acting. It's a little acting, but it's kind of a reality show in a way. You know, every time I play Promise to the Moon, and it's all fucking, you know, it's like. It's all quiet in here, you know. It's like, you don't know what you've got, you know. Anyway, sometimes, you know, I sing that song and it's all quiet. And people, some of the fan friends are going, what? They actually, it may be the channel something through me, you know, we go back and forth. And yeah, I think it's not just one woman. Sorry, Denise. All right.
Once Paul Gilbert was asked in an interview about you being seen like the pop guy of the group of Mr. Big.
Yeah.
Do you think this kind of issues about gender really matters for musicians?
I don't care. You know, when I got in Mr. Big, I was different than those guys. They were like heavy rock and roll people, and I was kind of like the Swiss Army knife of rock. You know, I mean, like I sang everything, and I didn't really have an image. You know, I was like rock, R&B, soul, pop, punk. You know, ballads. So I didn't have a persona. But when I got Mr. Big and they were all hard rock, I sort of made it up. But what I was saying was like when I was younger, I was in heavy rock bands. Look, my first band was called Fire Beast. How about that? Yeah, come on! You know, we played Zeppelin and Queen and Deep Purple and all that stuff. So, I mean, I knew it and I liked it, but I wanted to do everything. And so when I got Mr. Big, I sort of pretended a little bit. And then I became a hard rock and roll singer. You know, and then everybody's like, dude, you're a great hard rock and melodic rock singer. I go, really? Okay, thank you. But I didn't, you know, I sort of made it up as I went along.
Can you tell which are the main features a song has to have to be successful?
A hook. You have to have the hook. You have to have the chorus. The whole verse thing like that, anything. You got to have a really good chorus, I think. And you got to have a good riff. You know, if it's, you know, we have a song called Stranger in My Life, and it's like... And it already sets it up, sets the mood, you know, so that's the riff, you know. And the chorus is really, you know... I can't even sing it right now. I don't want to sing it right now. I want to rest my voice.
Can you tell when you write in a song which one is going to be a success and which is not?
No. To me, I think that's the kiss of death when you try to write a hit song. You know, Just Take My Heart was kind of writing a hit song. You know, because it was formulaic, you know. It's a pretty rock ballad. It's generic, but what made it different was the lyrics, and you know, and because it was, you know, two people laying in bed looking at each other going, I'm not going to see you in the morning, you know, it's done, our marriage is over, you know, and I'm not saying it was great or anything, but it was just, you know, I think we wrote it to have like, or I wrote it to have it like, oh, maybe this will go on the radio, but more times than none is that if you try to write a hit song, it's going to suck, you know? I mean, I knew To Be With You was going to be a good song one day, but I had no clue that it was going to be a huge success, you know? I've said it for years, I caught the public on a good day, you know?
We mentioned before that you started your career when very, very young. When did you first realize you could sing and compose?
Well, I knew I could sing when I sucked as a drummer. I was a drummer, and we had a singer that never showed up to rehearsal. And we were really upset one day. This is when I was a little kid. And I went, forget this, man, I'll be the singer. And I go, you? And my voice was really high, you know, Michael Jackson kind of high. And I played drums and I sang at the same time. It was really hard to do. And then we had somebody that could play drums, so he played drums and I sang, and then I knew that I had a pretty good voice. I thought I had a pretty good voice, but I didn't become a composer until, you know, later, 16, 17, 18, you know, maybe even past that. When I wrote To Be With You, but it was so you know, I'm the one who wants to be with you, deep inside I hope you feel it too, waiting out line of Greens and Blues. The Greens and Blues part was kind of cool, because I had a mood ring, and it would turn green when I was happy, and then blue when I was sad. So I went, oh, Greens and Blues, how simple is that? And I stuck it in the song, you know. And but I didn't know I could write or not until I was older.
How much work does it take to become a musician?
Yeah, I'm still working. You still gotta work. Yeah, it's a never-ending story. You know. Yeah, and the minute that you and you know, like a guy like Paul Gilbert, you know, when I hadn't seen him in so long, and we got back together in 2009, I thought, okay, well, he's going to play just like he always plays. He was a really good player, but he raised the bar, as they say, on himself. Like, he got better. How is that possible? And maybe, you know, he was like, wow, Eric, you're singing great. You know, maybe I got a little bit better, too. I know people that just only get so far in life because they don't practice, or they don't try to write stuff, or just, you know, and they're only singing in front of the bathroom mirror, and they're not out in front of the camera or the stage, you know.
Do you think there's still some opportunities to fit in the big music business? Because right now the market is very low.
Oh yeah, it's been low for a long time. I don't know. I don't know anything about the new business of music. I know it's hard for me, you know. I used to, oh God, I used to go, oh no, I'd never sell my CDs out of the trunk of my car, or sell the CDs at gigs. Man, well, I'm not going to do that. And I do it now, and I wish that I had done it a long time ago. Or, you know, it's really difficult. I don't know if you can see me anymore.
Yeah.
I'm in the dark. It's really difficult to do something in music, but you know what? You know, if you just, how I look at it is, when you least expect it, something good will happen. Whether it means that you'll be successful in the music business, or you'll just be great as a musician, playing in front of your friends. You know, gigging is so important to you know, just the feeling of playing in front of people. I get nervous all the time. Like the 2 or 3 songs in my hands. You'll see tonight, you know, I'll be like, my hands will be shaking on Wild World, you know. But that's a cool feeling, you know. I don't know anything about if you're gonna make it or not, but it's the fact that you're doing something musically and you're playing in front of people, that's great. You know, yeah, the trick is to make money at it, but, you know, pass the hat around. The whole idea back in the 70s and 80s when I was starting out was, you just keep playing and playing, and somebody will see you, maybe, you know. I mean, look, yeah, God, good luck to you people. Good luck to you musicians out there.
You're one of few rockers who never showed much skin on stage.
Yeah.
You're always covered by clothes. Is there any reason for that?
Yeah, look at this fucking chest here. Hey, Gabriella, is that you? No, that's not you. Look at this chest. Now, I don't want anybody to see me, man. I'm like, oh, no, not good.
Do you have any tattoos?
No hair on my arms, man. What?
Any tattoos?
No tattoos. Here, there you go. You want anybody seeing that shit? Look at that, no hair, hardly any hair on my legs. You see that? That is fucking gross. Oh man, I went through the whole period of like open my shirt up and everything like that. No, I didn't do the naked kind of thing. I was too shy to do that.
Okay, so thank you very much for agreeing the interview.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that fucking crazy last question. We're the few rockers that like it. Yeah, everybody else got naked. Hey, guess what? Guess what? See if those guys can do it now. I don't think so. Just to be the next to